Hey everybody, Sean from Media Assault here, and this is my long-delayed countdown to Star Trek Into Darkness entry for Star Trek First Contact from 1996. It's actually been delayed for two reasons. One, just because I've been watching the Star Trek movies on Saturday nights, and for the last 2 weeks in a row I've had plans, and I've got plans this coming Saturday night, so it may be a while before I can get to the next one. But I'm going to try and get these done on time, so I will be able to do a review of Star Trek Into Darkness on its release weekend. But the other reason that this one was delayed is this was the hardest Star Trek film I've ever had to review and sit through. I just had a tremendous problem sitting through this movie, and I'm not sure why. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Star Trek The Next Generation. The series, like I said before, I've seen a handful of episodes, but I know who the characters are. No, I don't know their backstories in depth. I know enough, you could show me a picture of a character and I would say, oh, that's Jean-Luc Picard, that's Data, that's Riker, whatever. But I got about 35 minutes into First Contact, and I just hit the pause button, got up, and literally looked for something to do, and cleaned my toilet, and actually found myself enjoying it more than the first 35 minutes of First Contact. I had a tremendous difficulty getting into this movie. I came back to it a couple of days later. My mood had apparently improved. I did finish the film in one sitting after that, but I still just had this feeling that it was just an extended TV episode. This still did not feel like I was watching a Star Trek film. It seemed like I was watching an hour and 45-minute long TV movie or TV episode in widescreen. Jonathan Frakes, who plays Riker in the film, he does add better direction to this film than what we had in the previous entry, Star Trek Generation. So I found this movie was a little more lively. The plot was, it was okay. I'm not a big fan of the Borg. While they are a creation of the Next Generation TV series and were a kind of an upgraded enemy, something new that the Star Trek universe could say was directly connected to that show rather than the original show. It was new. They were not the Romulans or the Klingons or the Vulcans or whatever. I just don't find them really that interesting as an enemy, as a nemesis, as this juggernaut that always constantly seems to be pursuing or engaging in combat with, at least in my opinion, the Next Generation crew. So when they got into the backstory of Jean-Luc Picard and his history with the Borg and whatnot, I knew of that from the series, but I didn't find anything about this movie suspenseful. There was little drama for me. I never, at any time, thought that there was any danger of anybody not accomplishing what they set out to do in this film. So I was never just committed to it, I guess. For whatever reason, this movie just left me cold. I still did like parts of it. I did like the going back in time aspect, and that that's very much part of the Star Trek universe. I liked the humor that was displayed towards the inventor of the first warp ship. I thought the performances, for the most part, were pretty good, although the characters themselves, to me, because I don't know their backstories as well as I do, say, the characters from the first series, the original series, the first series of films, maybe I'm missing a lot of the nuances of the characters, and I'm sure that's true. But I just don't find myself buying into some of the humor that they have with each other. But when they were kind of joking around with the settlers of the late 21st century, I thought some of that stuff was kind of cool. But overall, this was a huge disappointment for me. I'm sure that I'm probably alienating a lot of people who've been watching this, and me as a, not a huge Star Trek fan, but a science fiction fan in general. So far, I've been really let down by the Next Generation films. I've got 2 left to go before I get to the 2009 reboot, and then, of course, the 2013 Star Trek Into Darkness. And I'm really hoping that the next film really improves. And I know that First Contact is considered by many people to be the best of the Next Generation films, but I just had a really tough time with it. So I'm going to give it a rating. I'm actually going to give it a rating of 4.5 out of 10. It is by far my least favorite Star Trek film so far that I've watched. And I'm sure the people who love the film are going to want to contact me and comment on this video and say I missed this or I didn't get that or whatever. Hey, this is just my opinion. I don't knock you guys for liking the movie, and I don't knock anybody for liking this movie. I could see why fans of the Next Generation series would like it. I am not a huge fan of the Next Generation series, therefore, for some reason, I just couldn't buy into it. But they can't all be winners. This, for me, certainly wasn't. So it was just kind of a chore to get through, and I'm more disappointed to say that than anybody possibly could believe, because I really wanted to enjoy the movie and just didn't. So I will do the next entry in the series as soon as I am able to. Again, I do have plans this coming Saturday night, which is when I normally watch the movies. I'm actually going to a sci-fi film festival in Cleveland, the Cedar Lee Theater here in Cleveland. If you know Cleveland's theaters, they're a huge independent movie theater. Huge in terms of reputation. It's actually not the biggest place in the world, but they're doing a sci-fi fest this Saturday night that runs from 8 o'clock till, I believe, 4 in the morning, and it's going to be the original 1954 Godzilla, Total Recall, the original Schwarzenegger version, The Matrix, and They Live with Rowdy Roddy Piper. I'm hoping to make it through all 4 films. I do have to work that day, so I may be really, really tired by the time the last movie starts. But I'm going with some friends, and that should be a lot of fun. That's what I've got planned for this particular Saturday. So I will be doing the next review in the series as soon as I can. So look forward to that. And as always, feel free to rate, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Bye.